Welcome back. We've left Troy having changed the law in California. One of the things that I noticed about MCC when I joined, which was a very long time ago, is our commitment to what we now call human rights, or civil rights, probably in the 60s. How difficult was it to get MCC people really into the civil rights struggles?
My second demonstration, I said we have to demonstrate we're going to demonstrate, and I want all of you to come. Well, nobody was hurt in the first demonstration. So the next demonstration, and it's in the movie Call Me Troy, it shows us demonstrating. Now, here I am in my clerics, but in a black vestment with, well, we started the demonstration on Olvera Street, which is where LA started, and it's the Mexican-American community. Well, it upset the Catholic Church no end because it looked like we had just marched out of the Catholic Church stairs and were going into downtown. And we marched in and went to, and I told everybody, no one will get hurt. All of you come. I said, because I knew nobody would be in downtown LA on us. And nobody goes to downtown LA used to at that point. Now they do, but they didn't then. And I knew I could control what was happening. And it was there that I made the speech that you see in that. And it was amazing. Again, I was not going to not have my rights. This was very important. Now I want to tell all of you, we're not going to bore you to death. We're only going for 20 minutes and it's open up for questions then. And when y'all get through with questions, we leave. So if nobody has a question, we go. So, all right? So here I lead the demonstration now. Again, I'm leading demonstration not knowing you're not supposed to do this. But Martin Luther King in our culture had a man who could take the most despised group of people in my nation who had been slaves. And I watched, Dr. King and watched him, and I was so fascinated. Started going to civil rights demonstrations. I said, if I'm going to fight for my rights, I have to fight for others too. And Dr. King, it was amazing. I had a interracial couple, and my neighbors over me, they're not there anymore. The husband died. African-American man with, his wife Marilyn, a white woman. He won an Emmy on television for makeup. He did Deep Space Nine, if that ever showed here, the old TV show Deep Space Nine, the American show. He won the Emmy for makeup. He was so proud of her. She was on the AIDS Commission, for the city of Los Angeles. These are kind of neighbors I had. When I chose a home, I wanted a home that in a integrated neighborhood. I was not going to live just with white people. I just made a conscious decision, and I know everybody can't do this, but I did. And I said, I'm going to live, where there are all kinds of people. And my God, we found this wonderful place. And it was so cute. The first time I met Ron, the one who had won the Emmy, he jumped all over me because I didn't know how to do the washing machine to clean out the filter, And that's how we met, and he was just so gruff. And I just laughed, and I made it my business to become friends with Ron. And Ron used to tell a joke that I told. And he told this joke at the union meetings, everything. And at his funeral, I told the story, and everybody said he told that story. And he said, he always gave you credit, Reverend Perry, for that story. And so here we were, back to the civil rights. Here we go. And very quickly, it was amazing. The board of directors of the LA Church fired me as pastor for leading demonstrations. They were frightened. And, the church then wanted to fire them. We had a business meeting. This is not in any of my books. But I cut up with all of our pastors. I've been through everything every one of them have. I said, I've had charges brought against me by people, even in MCC. I mean, just bizarre things. But it was never, I knew I didn't do anything wrong. And I was honest in all those cases. But upset when somebody would do that. And here they were, and they said, you're getting too political. And that's not spiritual. And I said, yes, it is. And like I said, I preached about Jesus and what Jesus did and what Jesus said. And we've got to stand up for people. Jesus talked to women. Jesus was not afraid of people who came from different races. Even a rabbi was not supposed to, the Jews always, when I talk about Scripture, talk about Peter had every reason not to go to a Gentile's house. Because Torah told him he couldn't. Peter went anyway. After God said, arise, kill, and eat with the unclean animals. And finally, Peter said, I'm a good Jew. I can't touch that. You know. And God said, what I've cleansed, let no person call unclean. What I've cleansed, let no person call unclean. And I said, he went to that home, preached to those Gentiles, and went to First Church in Jerusalem and told them that they were just so thrilled. They were horrified. They said, don't you know what Scripture says?
So you've made these links with the political arguments in the early church.
Yes, I have.
Political arguments in early MCC. Probably the longest running campaign I've seen in MCC is the campaign for marriage.
Yes.
And I was looking up some stats on you, and it appears that you performed the first modern same-sex marriage.
That is correct. Time magazine said Reverend Troy Perry. They were talking, the big article on our fight for marriage, and it said that Troy Perry performed the first openly. There were other couples they started off the timeline 1898, where two females married, but one was dressed as a man, and they didn't know it was a woman. Does that make any sense? I mean, early transgender. No, early transgender. And nothing wrong with that. But that was the first. And then they said, Reverend Troy Perry, December 1968. I had two young men who came to me, two Hispanics, and they said, Reverend Perry, would you marry us? I said, absolutely. And I used the Book of Common Prayer. The Episcopalians, they hated it back then, but they love it today. It's part of their history now in America. I used the Book of Common Prayer, did a language change so I could do it, and not husband and wife. I didn't do it that way, But I thought I don't need to use that language. I can clean this up, and I did it. And Time magazine, they take me to that I did that, and I started fighting for the rights of people to marry. In 1970, I married two women and talked them in with me to sue the state of California for our right to marry in 1970. And it was just amazing because the judge laughed us out of court, would not even accept the filing, saying this is a fliverish lawsuit. Well, they ain't laughing no more, let me tell you, in my country. And I never quit. I went on, and our churches, a historian just interviewed me, and I had to explain that we had people who were frightened again. And one of our pastors said, no, in the state of Illinois, I wanted holy union / marriage, because marriage is only for heterosexuals. I said, well, I wish you wouldn't do that, but, if that's the way we want to do it, all right. But later I got it removed and the word marriage put in there.
In the MCC government bylaws, under the rites and sacraments, they used to say holy union / marriage.
Yeah.
And now it just says marriage, because we've grown up about that.